Blog Talk Radio. Chatting with Nat is a podcast for independent women seeking to speak their truth and to break down barriers. We host honest conversations that help to guide and empower women. Speak your truth and set yourself free. Let your voice be heard. Hi, this is Chatting with Nat. It's Natalie Jean. It's Natalie Jean. And today we have the honor of having Americana band Wild and Blue. California-bred Americana brand Wild and Blue is father-daughter duo Steve and April Bennett, who take the time-honored tradition of family harmony into inspirational new territory. Rooted in vintage soul and R&B as much as country, the pair take great inspiration from the likes of Kris Kristofferson, Patsy Cline, Loretta, Lynn, and Roger Miller. After 18 months of separation due to the global pandemic, the two have finally reunited to tour their debut album, Restless, released in January of 2021. Let's give April Bennett a round of applause.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me.
How are you doing?
I am great. We're just about to start the second leg of our tour right now today, and I've got my coffee and made a set list for our show tonight. I'm really happy.
That is awesome. Congratulations. Now,
thank you.
You're welcome. How have you been during this, what I call the cray-cray of the craziest time, in the 21st century craziest time, besides, all that election crap. Have you been handling the whole situation? It's just been crazy.
It's been a really definitely surreal time for us. I had been living in my hometown of Santa Cruz, California, where my dad, Steve, also lives. When lockdown started, and had been planning on moving to New York, where I live now, and we had to put that move on hold for a while. We were finishing our debut album and actually released that in January of this year in the midst of everything.
Right.
And I got married in the last year.
Wow.
It's been a wild time for me personally, but also a really difficult time to be a musician, and certainly, not being able to be with not only my family but my collaborators has been really, really tricky. But we reunited at the end of September, just a couple of weeks ago, and it's been very emotional and very rewarding, and being able to play with my dad in front of people that really are receptive to our music has been a gift, absolutely.
Well, congratulations on the wedding, on the marriage.
Thank you.
Awesome. That you were able to do that during a pandemic. I know a lot of people that got married during the pandemic, so that's awesome. You know what? It'll be an anniversary. When you have your anniversary, it'll just be amazing, because you'll be like, we made it through so much. You know what I mean? We were able to have a wedding and got through a crazy time in our lives. Now, this is a question.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, a good friend of ours said it'll be an incredible story to tell our children that even in the midst of all of that, our love persevered.
Right. That's a song right there. Our love persevered.
Yeah.
So one of the questions I like to ask everybody is this. Obviously, the pandemic had its pros and it has its cons, believe it or not. The cons, obviously, people died, people got sick, some people had to have limbs amputated, lingering effects, all that. I mean, that's just the horrible side of things. But on the pro side, people had the time to self-reflect. They had the time to really think about a lot of things. Now, one of the things that I saw and I talk about this all the time because it's just crazy to me, is that I saw more families walking outside with their children and dogs than I've ever seen in my entire life. Because why, people locked down, don't have anything else to do. It's like, whoa, let's spend family time. Wow. And then I had colleagues that were like, yep, I pulled back on hours on work because I realized I wasn't spending enough time with family members. Then obviously the animals were very happy. Pollution went down. Mother Nature was like, oh, we can breathe, we can jump, we can skip. Why? Because nobody's in the street. Then you had people that quit their jobs. I actually read 2 articles on people quitting their jobs because they want to do something that's more fulfilling. It's not just about, money for them. We realized, life is short. Pandemic said it's even shorter than you thought. So people had a lot of time to think. Or, some artists rebranded. Some artists decided, I want to be more of an effective player. I want to make a difference in people's lives. So during this time, did you take time to self-reflect? Did you decide that you wanted to change anything? Have you decided that you want to write different types of music? What did you think about?
Yeah, that's a great question. I definitely, I lost my job immediately. I was working. I had a day job. I worked in the entertainment industry for my day job, and over the course of a week, we watched our calendar just empty. And at the end of that week, I lost my job. So that ended up being, it was very difficult in the moment. But the thing that really was incredible about that was not only did I have just people come out of the woodwork to support me, which was so overwhelming and beautiful, to watch your community just manifest around you like that was just insane. And it made me feel so humble and grateful. But it actually gave us as a band the opportunity to really think about where we wanted to go. We were able to bring on a manager who is a dear friend of mine. And we would not have been able to do that if we hadn't had that time to reflect. And it really made me think about how I want to be spending my time, what kind of musician I want to be, and how I want to invest in myself as an artist. And so I've decided that I want to do everything in my power to put all of my energy into music, and really focus on connecting with people in that way, and giving myself the opportunity to be fulfilled by my art. And I feel like I wouldn't have had the opportunity to really adjust my mindset if the world hadn't had to take that big break.
Right? I know. It's just, it's beyond crazy. Sometimes I lay it down at night and I'm thinking, I have to pinch myself because did we really live through that? 9 times out of 10, when we think about things like this, we think of the 1940s, we think 1930s. We never think that something like this possibly happened in the 21st century, but here we are, and it did happen. Now, what about the music industry made you feel like, oh my gosh, music is me, I need to do this? Is it something that you saw, you heard? Is it just in your blood? What was it?
Well, I would definitely say that it's in my blood. I'm a 3rd generation musician. My father's parents were both musicians. My grandmother was a folk musician. My father's father was a jazz saxophonist, and my dad played his first gig when he was 15 years old, and had been playing music during his whole childhood. And I got up on stage with him for the first time when I was 2.5. So I've been in it. It's been a family affair right since the beginning. And even before I was speaking, I would sit and just sit at his feet while he played at home or in his guitar case, and just to take it all in. It's funny because when I was younger, people would ask me, "Oh, do you want to be a singer when you grow up? Do you want to be a musician?" I'm like, I'm already those things. So it's always just been a very vital part of who I am. It's kind of like kind of like breathing. But the business part of it, you know, is definitely challenging, and as a woman, it can be very hard to navigate.
Yep.
Yep.
You feel me. You feel my pain.
Oh yes. So it's but I feel like this is what I'm here to do. You know,
right.
I have this incredible connection through my family to this musical legacy, and just a deep passion for sharing music, and not only music that we're making, but the music of the artists that influenced us with the world.
I love that. And what point in your music career did you decide to partner up with your father?
You know, that happened very organically. We played throughout my childhood and my adolescence together. I went away as an adult to school and lived in New York, lived in Pennsylvania, and then came home in my early 20s, and something had just changed in the dynamic. It wasn't casual anymore. We were really connecting on a deeper level in terms of and really thinking critically about the future of that project. So that would have been, I guess, in 2015 was when we really made that decision that this was going to be an equal partnership and its own project. And so over the course of this last 5 or 6 years, we've been really working on. We played out a lot. We've been very fortunate to have regular access to live audiences and really work out who we are in front of an audience, and then bring all of that knowledge and all of that experience to this first record that we were able to release together. And it's just been so cool to see that journey and kind of come to this point, and look forward to what we're going to be doing next.
Awesome sauce. Now, how did you come up with the name the Wild and Blue?
Wild and Blue. We, you know, my dad had his own band for multiple decades, Steve Bennett and One-Eyed Jack, and we knew that was not what this was. And we'd started doing the John Anderson song Wild and Blue as part of our material very regularly, and thinking about names, and I was like, oh, Wild and Blue is kind of cool, and it sort of has an energy that feels correct for what we're doing here, so it just kind of stuck.
I love it. Now, how important is it for you both to be extremely authentic in your music, in your performances, just in the music world?
I would say that it is authenticity is a vital part of what we do. I feel very deeply emotionally connected to the music that I play. It really doesn't work for me if it's not right there, and I can connect to those stories. I really think that my job as an artist and a vocalist is to relate those stories truthfully to an audience, and I cannot do that if I'm not 100% believing what I'm selling. So I would say if we can't be our authentic selves, there's really no point. There's no message behind what you have to say. And I think that's definitely something that has been true in the kind of music that my dad writes, in the kinds of covers that we select for ourselves, and in the way that we relate to our audience. Authenticity is kind of the magic ingredient.
I love it. Authenticity. And what are the benefits of you working with a family member, and what are the challenges?
Ooh. You know, I think the really incredible thing about working with my dad is that he has the whole picture of my personal history and my growth as an artist. He knows the music that has shaped me and the things that are important to me personally and professionally. And in terms of our instruments, our voices, you know, I think family harmony is a pretty special and kind of elusive thing. It's not something you can manufacture. And so in terms of our sound, I think our family connection is incredibly important to that. You know, working with family is tricky because you're business partners and there's all the baggage of the personal relationships. So, you know, there are times when I can feel a little like, hey, I'm an adult. I'm in charge too. There's a little bit of petulance there, but you know, I'm very fortunate that, you know, my dad has always been, you know, my best bud. He really has understood me better than anybody else in my life, and I know at the end of the day that we're on the same team. So I really feel like we're in a unique position to just take any challenges that we face head on and be able to overcome.
Cool. Now, I'm going to play your song, Ain't Got Much Time. That's about.
This is a song that my dad actually wrote in the 70s, and he put it down for quite a long time. And a couple of years ago, he said, you know, I wrote this song when I was a young guy. I wrote it for this woman that I was in love with who was leaving, and I've been thinking about bringing it back. What do you think? And he played it for me, and I said, oh, well, you're not singing that anymore. I am. So I just plucked that one up. But it's absolutely one of my very favorite songs to sing.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm glad we're playing it first. Let's go ahead and play it.
Mm-hmm.
Darling, we ain't got much time to let love slip away. Would be a crime. I can't help but love you. It's a love that's pushing me on. I don't wanna fill up your could never be wrong. It's a good way to say so long. You know, it's a good way to say so long. Oh, darling, we ain't got much time.
That was, I had goosebumps. It started as soon as you started to sing, because it's
Thank
very
you.
soulful and very moving and very touching. I love it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that song is just
The
one of
lyrics
my favorites.
The lyrics are great, but the vocals are even better. Oh my gosh. This
Oh,
is,
thank you.
yeah, ooh, love it. I could hear that in a movie.
Mm-hmm. It absolutely, it has that very
Yeah.
dynamic cinematic quality.
Yeah, it's very, oh, love it, love it, love it. Love it.
Thank you.
So, what is your songwriting process, and how do you deal with writer's block if you get it?
Yeah, well, so most of the songs, or I would say all of the originals on our most recent album were written by my dad, but I am also a writer, and I have been, my real problem is that I am absolutely my own harshest critic, and if I'm not careful, I can kind of think my songs out of existence. So I have really, especially in this last year, been trying to just be a lot less hypercritical of my own process and just let things breathe a little bit. And if it's not coming naturally, switch gears, listen to other artists that inspire me, and really just try to think about trying to say what I need to say without judging it first.
Right.
And I think that's a struggle that a lot of artists have. I think we can really stay up in our own heads and deprive the world of those really cool ideas. So I think sometimes we just kind of have to get out of our own way a little bit.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Where is like the craziest place you've ever come up with an idea for a song?
I my dad, the funniest thing to me is he writes, so many of his songs have started in traffic. It's how he gets through his commute.
I love that though.
So, yeah, he has had multiple songs where he's started them in bumper to bumper traffic and finished them in the parking lot outside of his work. And that's I love that. I love that, those really brilliant moments, just when the muse descends, you're powerless. You've got to just get in there, get it done.
That is a smart use of time. That is brilliant. You know what? Next time, and am I in DC or LA? Oh, LA is crazy. I will definitely start writing. No, that's a great use of time. My place is not crazy, but a lot of people get inspired in the shower. That's where I get mostly inspired. But unfortunately, once I get out of the shower, it just goes out the door. But I try to repeat, but then I'm getting older, nothing's staying in the head. So I was telling people how I was going to create this gadget. It's going to be waterproof. You put it in the shower, soundproof in the sense that you won't hear the shower when you're recording. And this young lady that I interviewed on my podcast was, my husband gave me a gift. She's like, there's a pad that you can put in the shower. I'm like, what? Where has this beautiful thing?
Oh, my gosh.
Yes. So I bought it. on Amazon. I look for, it's called like a shower pad, and it's waterproof. It's a pencil, and you can write. Can you imagine actually writing?
Brilliant.
So I'm putting that on in the shower, and I'm gonna start writing until I can get my gadget off the ground. So I absolutely love that. And
I like your idea though. I think some kind of waterproof voice memo kind of device is. We need that. We need that. Shower writers.
I mean, I've come up with trying to bring the cell phone in and then all that. No, doesn't work for me. I'm like, I need something in the shower. And somebody told me that the reason, people come up with the best songs in there is something because you're relaxed. You're by yourself. You may not be by yourself. I don't know. But you're relaxed and you're just like, the water is so soothing, and so you can come up with the best melodies because you're just not worried about anything. You're just singing along. I sing all the time when I'm in the shower.
I do too. I'm also a dancer, and sometimes I come up with choreography in the shower.
I love that. Oh my god, I love that. Oh, that is so fun. What do you love most about being an artist?
I think that there is something totally magical about the kind of connection that I get to enjoy with other people, whether it's other musicians when we're arranging or recording a song, or like I said, we've had the great fortune of being able to develop a lot of our material in front of a live audience.
Right.
And a stranger coming up to you and sharing, something personal from their life that they connected with through your music, I am constantly blown away by that. And, certainly coming back after a year and a half and having those moments, having people tell me about what their experience of this time has been like, and how the music that we're playing is helping them to process that and feel that. What a gift. I can't imagine anything better.
I completely, utterly agree. Sometimes I sit down, I don't know if I want to do this music thing anymore. It's giving me a headache, this, that, and the other. And then I'll get an email or a call from somebody that says, oh my gosh, your song really helped me during a time, or I really like your music, blah, blah, blah. And then I'll say, okay, universe.
I got it. I understand.
I got it.
All right, I'll keep doing it.
I gotta do this thing. I gotta do this thing. So I'll keep doing it. Okay. But I'm with you on that. Before the pandemic, I was thinking about, I want to be an effective player. I want my music to make a difference. Obviously, as artists, we want to make money. It's great to chart. It's great to win awards and stuff like that. But I think the award for me is looking at the body of work that we create and what difference it makes in other people's lives. So kudos to you for wanting to do that. Now, I'm going to play World All Our Own. Tell us what that is about.
This is another one I just sniped from my dad. This is a more recent song that he wrote, but for me, it really conjured a lot of the artists that I connected with as a young person, like Ella Fitzgerald and Etta James and Sam Cooke, Otis Redding, just in terms of that really powerful, urgent ballad, something that feels intimate but still has all of that energy. And actually, this song, we've thought a lot about the order that we wanted to place the songs in on the album, and I fought very hard to have the first song that we played, Ain't Got Much Time, be the first thing you heard on the album, and this song will be the very last thing that you hear.
I like it. All right, let's play it. Here we go.
Take my hand and walk with me in a world that's all our own. It doesn't matter where we are, just as long as we're alone. Kiss me sweet. Knock me off of my feet, and all the sweet love we have known is living in a world all our own. And don't you know we're loving in a world all our own? And don't say goodnight, I don't want to see the cold gray light of dawn. I just want this magic night and these sweet moments just go on. Hold me, don't let go. Nobody sees, we can let our love show. All the sweet dreams we have known are living in a world all our own. And don't you know we're loving in a world all our own? Oh, when the time comes, we must part. I'm gonna keep you right here in my heart. All the sweet love we have known will be living in a world all our own. And don't you know we're loving in a world all our own? Yes, we're loving in a world all our
Another one. Oh my God, these are two of my favorites too. I mean, wow. I mean, very, very. I mean, both songs to me are very sexy.
Mhm.
Very
Absolutely.
suggestive, very, very moving, very gets you in the mood. I don't know. It's just the songs are just phenomenal. I mean, and it's, the lyrics are great, but I'm telling you, it's the vocals. It's you do it well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. What artist would you love to perform with, dead or alive? Obviously, if they're dead, you can't.
Ooh.
But I would have loved.
Wow. In terms of contemporary artists, I think Kris Kristofferson is incredible. Like, I just think, in terms of, I just totally get what he is doing. I think it's amazing. Another artist that like daydream about singing with is Kirby, who's, oh my God, her stuff is just so amazing. Her voice is so incredible. Her writing is phenomenal. I adore everything that she does. In terms of people that, and I mean, Dolly Parton since I was about 5 years old. So I think if I could, stop myself from crying uncontrollably, I'd love to be able to work with her.
You're like, I love you and I want to sing, but I don't know if I can get this.
I love you so much. But in terms of artists, that have passed that I feel a huge connection to, I would say Otis Redding, Sam Cooke, Patsy Cline.
Right.
I feel very fortunate that I had a very eclectic musical upbringing, a lot of classical, a lot of classic country, a lot of vintage soul, jazz, just really, and I think that it all has sort of rooted itself in my approach to music. So, but those are just kind of a handful of the people I think about sometimes. So it'd be neat
your list
to get
is awesome. Your list is great. Now, what are 3 things you wish you had known before you got into the music industry?
I think that's a good question. I think that one thing that I think that everyone should be prepared for, especially coming in as an independent artist, is that you really have to be your own advocate.
Amen.
You have to believe 100% in what you're there to do. You have to have clarity around your vision and what you want to say to people, and you really have to be prepared to let everybody know exactly why they need to be listening to you.
Amen.
I think having that strength of vision and that self-reliance is only going to serve you. And I think if you get too worried about, am I bothering people? Am I bugging people? You've got to just be merciless. They'll tell you if they don't want to hear from you. So I think that one is really important. I think that the other thing is that you have to love it. If you are not 100% in love with the work and with bringing people what it is that you're making, then it's not going to work. You have to be in love at all times with this process. And then third, I think just be really mindful of the people that you ally yourself with and who you invite into your circle. Make sure that the people that you are surrounding yourself with will be honest with you, and will work in service of what you're there to do. Even if they don't always agree with you, that's okay, as long as you're there for the same reason, that you believe in creating the best possible product to bring to people. I think that's really vital.
I mean, I agree with you 100%. I always tell people, if you don't love the stuff that you're putting out, don't put it out. Your energy is going to go out into everything that you create. And so if you want love back, you got to put love into it. And that, you have to remember that it's subjective. Not everybody's going to love what you do.
Exactly. But you have to love it. And if you love it, then you can defend it. And I think that's absolutely non-negotiable. You have to be willing to put your heart into it and stand behind it.
And I'm glad you brought that subject up, because I was talking to a friend of mine, because we always have, music is obviously a lot of work. We have to be on so many platforms, social media platforms, videos, this, that, and the other, and you know, people just don't get it. They just understand it's a lot of work. And there's like different platforms where we have to submit our music and stuff like that. And I'm starting to understand that some people in the music industry don't get music anymore. And that music has evolved. Like I posted some music on a specific platform and place where you can try to get playlisted and all that, or get on blogs and all this other crap. And and so what dawned on me is that people are always assuming that you're creating music to chart or be on Billboard or win awards. Because a lot of, and music is subjective, don't get me wrong, but, you know, there should be like a genre called social impact message, because that's what I do. I do a lot of message songs. And people just don't get that genre. They just don't get it. They're like, well, you could have done this. And the thing with the music industry, they're always telling you, you know, when you're submitting your stuff to anywhere, oh, we don't want you to sound like this. We want you to be different because we already have too much of this. And then when you sound different, they're like, well, that's not really doesn't fit. So what is it that you want? My bottom line is I'm going to create the music that I want. Obviously, if I'm doing something for sync or something they want it a specific way, I'm going to do it that way. But I'm tired. I am so tired of different places that just don't get it. Sometimes you're creating music to make a difference in somebody else's life. It's not about singing a riff or doing that. And everybody has a different way of singing. I'm not trying to sound like anybody else. I'm just not. That'll never happen. You know, I am me.
And I feel the same way.
You know? And
yeah, absolutely. You have to be authentic. Well, it's like we were talking about. Authenticity is vital to this work. You cannot. The second that you start trying to homogenize what you're doing or try to change your approach to make it more palatable to more people, your heart goes out of it, because now it's all intellectual and analytical. And if you can reconnect to the things that are vital about the message that you want to bring and the music you want to create, you will find your audience. I believe that with my whole heart.
Amen to that. You understand it. You get it. It's just baffling to me how a lot of people just don't get that aspect that you can create music. I mean, obviously it's great to chart and all that stuff, but it's about making a difference. People, you know, artists actually care. About you got it. Now, last thing is, what is one thing, like an affirmation or a message, to push yourself throughout the day?
I think that when I start to doubt. When I think I start to doubt myself in terms of, you know, are people receiving what I'm saying? Are people connecting with what I'm trying to put out there? And when I get in my head about that, the thing that I try to remind myself is I try to reconnect to that urgency, that place of my point of view is valid, and there is an audience for it, and I love the music that I'm making.
Amen.
And if I love it, I think that people will receive it in that spirit. So I think that that's what I really try to ground back into when I start to wonder if it's worth it.
Amen. I love it. You and I are like soul sisters, because I'm the same way. I'm like, amen, because I'm all about that. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to be me. I'm going to do me. You're either going to love it, you're going to like it, you're going to hate it. Doesn't matter. I'm creating.
And it's okay.
And it's okay. And it's okay.
Yeah.
Because, you don't tell somebody that draws or paints or whatever, well, they should have done this. They should have put a splash of whatever. It's the same with music. We are artists. We create. We have our canvas is blank, and we decide what to put in it. And one of the things, I do country music as well, and most recently I learned, they love to rhyme. Everything has to rhyme, and I'm like, why? Isn't the whole point to tell a story?
Mhm.
And I'm like, I said, yeah, I rhyme sometimes, but sometimes I'm like, no, screw this. I just need to write it myself. Like, I just released a holiday single, and I was trying to do verse, chorus, verse, Brit. And I'm like, why am I trying to do this? Is not what I want to do. And I wrote it a little ditty, and it's a very non-conventional holiday song about, and it's framed around the pandemic, and, it talks about this real, we've lived in fear for a while here, but now it's called The Little Things. I'm grateful for the little things, because during the pandemic, you realize that it's a touch of a hand, a smile, the little things that you realize were so important before this COVID-19 hit. And so
absolutely,
it's non-traditional, and I like to create it that way. I mean, because I'm tired. I love conventional holiday music, but come on now, we need to evolve in our music and have something different so people can say, "Whoa, that's different. I didn't understand that. What is that concept?" You know what I mean?
And celebrate those things that we really are learning to value now. I think that's a really beautiful way to recenter the way we think about the holiday season, and about is focusing on those things that actually make it feel special.
That's right.
And I think it is those little things. I think that's a beautiful message for a song in that genre.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Well, April, it's awesome to have you on Chatting with Nat. You are my new soul sister. You get me, I get you. You have an amazing voice. Obviously, you and your father are great songwriters. I love the songs that you gave me. I'm gonna have to put them on a playlist somewhere.
Thank you so much.
Your music has to be in film. I mean, it's just. I mean, you are, Grand Ole Opry. I don't know. You got to be in one of those in the highest stages, because, I mean, I tell you, I got goosebumps listening. You're awesome.
Thank you so much, Natalie. It's been an absolute pleasure. I've had so much fun talking with you today.
Thank you. All right, everybody. This was Chatting with Nat with Americana band Wild and Blue. It's April Bennett. And you can find her at www.wildandblueband.com. She's on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Spotify. Or do like I do. Just Google. I'm getting a T-shirt that says Google me. We're just on too many platforms. I have to repeat all that stuff. Or just have a list on the back of the T-shirt, because this is just crazy. She's amazing. They are amazing. Go find them, and you will be drawn in just like me. You'll have goosebumps. Until next time on Chatting with Nat.
Chatting with Nat is a podcast for independent women seeking to speak their truth and to break down barriers. We host honest conversations that help to guide and empower women. Speak your truth and set yourself free. Let your voice be heard.